My guys, we all back. You know? Yeah. And too many times, man, when I be breezing through content, I hear guys speak about what they've done. We always talk about the accomplishments, but sometimes you can learn as much from the failure as you can the accomplishment, if not more. And when it comes to this lifestyle, to live with multiple women in light, not in darkness. I think we all know about that. But dealing with multiple women in light, with no step-by-step manual on how to navigate those worlds. There's not many people speaking on some of the failures that have taken place and the mistakes that have been made. But again, I want to have an open conversation, a transparent one with us as men. It's the only way we're going to grow. So I'm going to be detailing some of the mistakes that I have made and learned from in this video. And I try to make it exhaustive but concise. But before we get into that, let's roll the intro. Love with this chick, yeah. She said she wanna be up on my team, but she can't love me, yeah. Really, she don't want a man, she want a gummy bear. Maybe your woman said, you not ready for that, you don't know what you're doing. And there could be a nugget of truth to that. It may not be. But what she should only be speaking on is how to bring in another woman. And kind of vaguely, because again, if you've been applying your ism that you had in the world to this world, that should help bridge that gap a little bit. That communication gap, that learning curve. Because not everything from our old lives can apply to this new lifestyle. But we don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater, no. And this is the reason why I started this series. Because we have been reborn, we made anew in the image and the name of Yahshua HaMashiach, praise Yah. But you're a man first. A man of Yah, or man of God, is what first? A man. You don't say a Yah of man, it's a man of Yah. And as men, there's still qualities you need to keep by and within yourself. Just like when you wash your hair, there's oils you don't always want to strip away. When you wash your body, there's oils on your skin that you don't want to strip away, though you are being cleansed and renewed. Some things are meant to be there, and this is the ism. So yeah, she may say you don't know what you're doing, but typically when she says that, it's just because it's not done to her liking. But let's just say that in the event that you may not really know what to do. Let me tell you one of the first mistakes I've made, and maybe this will help you along your journey. The first mistake I made was, though I told the woman that I married first, I am not a monogamous man, I treated the marriage like a monogamous marriage. I slept with her every night, and then we slept in the same bed. But see, when you got multiple situations and you have multiple wives, you may not be with her every night. She may not be in your quarters. That's another thing. Don't make the bedroom her domain. It's your domain. If you're a king, she calls you king. She should knock before entering your domain, especially if you have another woman in there. Permission granted, permission to speak. If she gonna call you king, that's how it's done. But I made the mistake of treating the marriage like a monogamous one. Had I known what I know now, I wouldn't have went to sleep with her every night. I'd have just switched it up. Maybe I'd have just stayed out, got me a room, so she can see what it feels like for me not to be there. Maybe I'd have sent her out the room, so she can see what it feels like to have been sent out of the room, because again, a woman will think it's hers if she's the only vagina there. In her mind, she's King Dingaling. You need to see and feel what it feels like to be dismissed. Hey, I'm going to be on this tonight. You can't be in here. There's a form of rejection that she may experience, and you really want to do that when it's just y'all two. You don't want to wait till you got a new woman that you want to come in and get her to see just how platinum your situation ain't. She's like, dang, I thought you said she was cool with it. Well, you did, because your first woman told you, woman A rather, told you she was cool with it. And then you bring woman B home, and woman A is glitching out. Woman B is like, you told me all this was on lock. Well, you thought it was until you hit the button and you find out what untied. So start introducing these elements in your marriage early. Remember I told you, man, how you start is how you finish. So yeah, I wouldn't have went everywhere with her. and she'd have been geared up for that, it wouldn't have been such a big paradigm shift. And speaking on how you start is how you finish, understand this too. I've repeatedly told women in the beginning, look, I'm not really a kisser like that. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's just one of my idiosyncrasies. I don't like kissing like that. I don't even drink and eat after my kids, and they come for me. It's just me. I don't know, bro. But every man is like that. Every man got their little irks and their perks and their quirks, you know? That woman's gonna mold herself to that. However, when you do something you don't normally do, the woman does not hear that you don't normally do that. All she hears is that you're doing it for her. You know, every woman wants to feel like Cinderella, especially she came up here in the West. She can't help it. She's watched every Disney movie, every princess Disney movie you could think of, whether she wanted to or not. All the talk shows have led her up to feel like, I need to be the only one. And we just spoke on women being the only women. If you're at your best, she probably don't deserve to be the only one. But either way, if you start off doing things in the beginning that you don't normally do, when you start not normally doing them like you told her you don't normally do, it's going to be a problem. So because I don't normally kiss, but maybe I did in the beginning because I felt like, well, you know, she didn't need to feel that real quick. When I stopped and became my normal self, which I told her about, it was a problem. And guess who was the bad guy? You switching up. No, sweetheart, I switched up in the beginning because I told you I don't normally do this. I didn't switch nothing. I went back to who I am. But again, in the mind of a woman, bro, she ain't hearing that. All she know is you did this for her. This is who you are. And the moment you go back to who you really are, you're going to run into issues. So if you ain't prepared to do it throughout the duration of the relationship, don't do it in the beginning. If I'm not prepared to bring her flowers every Friday, I ain't doing it in the beginning. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Today, you ain't gotta do all that. You don't have to. Especially when you examine her last relationship. Remember I told you that past matters. That man was getting more for less. Don't you settle for nothing else. Because you're going to be the man doing more, getting less. You don't want to be that guy. So if you're not prepared to be making her bathwater every Monday morning, writing her sonnets every Sunday evening, rubbing her feet every Thursday at her lunch break, and you're not prepared to do this all throughout the relationship, don't do it in the beginning, bro. Because you don't need all that to get him. As a matter of fact, if you're speaking to her right now and you ain't done all those things, you don't need it. You don't need a full gym membership there every day to book a broad out. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't telling you not to look like something. I ain't telling you to be healthy. I'm not telling you to be fit. I'm just saying you ain't gotta look like no Luke Ferrigno, no Arnold Schwarzenegger. You ain't even gotta look like Patrick Dempsey out here. It don't take a lot to pull these women, cuz. But how you start is how you finish. One thing that I regret doing, again, being in Babylon, there's different forms in Babylon. When we say it, we think it's one momentous exit from the city, not knowing that the city has Babylon propers. Meaning you left the city of Babylon, but maybe you're still in the county of Babylon. You left the county of Babylon, and you're still in the state of Babylon. And maybe you left the country, but now you're in the spirit of Babylon. And you leave the spirit of Babylon, and you're in the mind of Babylon, and so forth. So, your exit is a continual shedding away of. And then my exit, one of the things that I did was I got on my knees and proposed. And I'm gonna tell you, man, you don't ever do that. My wife sent me a video of it the other day, and my response was swift and very authentic. I told her the next time I'm on my knees, it'll be at my execution. I don't ever get on your knees for a woman, for nothing, ever in your life. It is not natural. Your knees were meant to bend, but not for her. Your knees should not bend for her, nor should your will. Don't ever do that. Moving on. One thing I learned about when dealing with women in the same household is the time you'll need to give yourself in between sex, right? Because see, a lot of us have multiple women out in the streets here, but that was just it. We didn't go home to them. We didn't go home to both of them, or all four of them, which means you didn't have the luxury of rolling over, hitting one, and then a few hours later catching one in the laundry room, bending her over, smashing that. So, needless to say, you may not really know how to navigate those waters, especially when it's all there, it's all wet, it's already all of them. You like a kid in the candy store, man. I'm gonna hit this, I'm gonna hit that, and who gonna tell you what to and what not to do? It's your house, and rightly so. But things you want to keep into consideration: every woman has a different pH balance. And this is assuming that all of them are clean. Hopefully they are. Cause listen, I've been in the women's bathroom by accident a few times, and the lies that they have told me about women being cleaner than men, it's false. But I digress. But let's assume that they keep up with their stuff, that it smells like water, right? It tastes like nectar. If they do, their pH balance is still different from coochie to coochie. And if you hitting it, how you supposed to be getting it, she should be leaving some of that coochie juice on your meat stick. And even if you wipe off that coochie juice on your meat stick, and we all have, wipe and go, sometimes you hitting it with the turtle shell. Y'all know what the turtle shell is? Man, the turtle shell is when you got on that good shirt, you don't really want to take it off, so you just flip it behind your head to the nape of your neck. Hit that thing real quick so you don't get no white, coochie juice on your clean black tea or whatever. And then as soon as you get done hitting that, you wipe that coochie juice off the meat stick, flip that turtle back down, and you back on the block. I done that several times. And we a thug like that. And then shower when we come back in from making other money. But when you got other women that may want some of that meat stick, that could be problematic. I've had situations where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just hit this one today, and that's it. I hit this, and then I go into the other parts of the home or something like that. Women, they'll never admit this, but they love smelling coochie on you, bro. They love smelling. They hate it because it ain't theirs, but they know. They love smelling coochie on you. It turns them on. It's the pheromones, and that when you're having sex, bro, that is a life-creating force. That is a life-creating act. So hormones, pheromones are released, or a whole bunch of things are released during that period, especially if it's raw, especially if she has a connection and you have a connection to her. That other woman can smell it. And if she know that y'all all in this together, that's gonna make her, maybe she at a point when she don't get in her feelings when she hear it. When she hear it, she like, I want what she having. He made me eggs Benedict this morning. I want that for breakfast. So you may not intend on hitting both of them that morning, but you may find yourself in a situation. Now you got her bent over and you like, man, I wasn't planning on smashing this because I just smashed the mama. And you going to town, and it is what it is. What I started doing was to prevent BV or just prevent the little itchies down there. This ain't nothing that can't be cleared up with a few days of rest, a few days of cranberry juice, a few days of tea tree oil, a few days of just bathing, and then giving yourself some time. What I started doing was just washing up, just a quick little wash, before I move on. And your woman has to be able to take the rejection, because if you just got done smashing and you need a little rest, just to, let things balance themselves off. You was deep in La Mama. Let's say you was deep in woman A. You shot up in it and you let it. If you like me, I'll let it sit for a minute. You hear me? I let that thing sit and throb on in it. She throbbing. I like to post it, make it throb some more. Let's talk, men. Because if you ain't doing this, you missing out. If after you bust one in her, I don't care how long or quick it is. Don't get caught up off the duration of the sex. It's the intensity that matters. Alright? And you got done just busting a big one up in her. Leave it in there. Let it keep coming out. I don't want to waste no drops. But what I like to do is, I like the after trimmers. I'll make it post, and she'll just orgasm right there with it still in her. We do this for like a minute or so. Maybe 2-3 minutes. Yeah, right there in her. She's still coming. I ain't doing nothing but just making it jump. Wow. Alright, you got all that on you. By this time, the wetness that moved from the shaft all the way down to the perineum, the gooch. You knee deep in that swamp, you hear me? You soaked. as it should be. Now, you're gonna need more than a wipe off. You're gonna need to wash that up with some gentle wash. If you ain't got no men's gentle wash, I look, sometimes I done use some Summer's Eve. Yeah, understand me? I ain't ashamed to say that. I done use a little Summer's Eve here and there, and then keep it moving, yeah. But again, do yourself a favor and give the coochie a rest from the next coochie, so that way the pH can balance out. You're not giving this woman's juices. The funny thing about women, however, is like the longer they spend together, they sync up. See, now we men will never do that because we men are not meant to be that closer proximity like that. But women will sync up. Their cycles will sync up. That's the first thing. So you discover the longer you deal with the same two women biologically, the less foreign it'll be. Meaning that at first, that gap you need, that time in between, needs to be as long as it's ever going to be. But as y'all move forward, the weeks turn into months, the months turn into years, you're going to need less and less time, just from my experience, less and less time in between that coochie to that coochie. Even you, when you enter into a woman for the first few times, bro, her body reacts as if you are a foreign invader. And truthfully be told, until you have made yourself a regular, you are. Her body, you know, the thing that gets her coochie wet, that membrane is the same membrane that's in your nostrils. It keeps out bacteria and foreign antibodies that are not meant to be in the human body. So when she's stimulated, it triggers the body. The coochie says, oh girl, we about to be invaded. By who? An invader. Yes, she gets wet in preparation for the penetration, but what's in the wetness is a lot of good stuff. It's a lot of white blood cells. It's a lot of stuff that fights off bacteria in the entire nine. This is why it does not benefit a woman to have multiple sex partners. She'll find herself with a weakened immune system because all of the good stuff that would fight off the normal cold is down there in the south fighting the coochie wars. Because you with this man, that man, the body is going into haywire. By the second, third, fourth, fifth time you done entered and slid into that coochie, raw dog, the coochie is like, okay, Selena, he's a regular, let him in. They stop fighting. You understand me? Now some women's bodies are a little different. They can conceive on the first time you hit it. Other times it may have taken y'all months, it may have taken y'all years for her to finally get pregnant. Ain't nothing wrong with you, ain't nothing wrong with her. Her body just needed to get used to you. Your pH balance, your semen. The female body is very hostile at first towards you and your semen until you have made yourself a regular. Now, every time you go into her and you got the pH balance of another woman, even the slightest remnants of it, that woman's body has to readjust for that. But again, as I told you guys, the longer you stay with the same lineup, the less variables you're introducing. The less time you may have to wait in between hitting coochie to coochie. Because if you like me, bro, I like rolling over, pow. And then it's like, okay, some nights I happens where I roll over the, pow, you hear me? It happens like that. It happens like that. But when you first starting out, give yourself time in between woman A, woman B, woman C, how many ever you're going to be dealing with. Moving on. When you come into this lifestyle, and it's not just the multiplicity aspect, because again, if you came into the lifestyle of having multiple wives, hopefully you should have came into the lifestyle of being reborn anew, being a child of Yah, having the renewal of mind in the name of Yahshua, you know, like that should have been the steps first. Having multiple wives should not have been the carrot on the stick that had made you come to the Father, because we're promised so much more than that. Because in the coming kingdom, we ain't even going to be married. You understand me? But it is one of the pleasures that you can receive here on earth right now, yeah. But it should not have been the thing that made you want to seek him. Nor should it have been the prosperity, nor should it have been the esteem or prestige. You should have sought him because you realized you needed him, that you've been lost and all have been void. And like they said in Jeremiah, truly you have inherited lies from your forefather. But one of the mistakes I made when I got into this lifestyle, both with the Father and with the multiplicity, is that I thought that my reception would be a lot different. In truth, bro, you're not really going to be liked that much by men or women. You're not really going to have a lot of common with most of your peers. They may feel like you feel like you're better than them, when in actuality, it's just you don't have much in common with them anymore. To even call somebody a relative when you have nothing to relate to even call somebody family when nothing is familiar when you get around them anymore. How can you be family and there's nothing familiar about you? They'll say, well, I don't know you anymore. Well, I don't know you anymore. And I don't know you because you don't know him. So we can't be them. You know? And with the women, cuz, as alpha men, you gonna have a lot of women who's around, but not a lot who wants to be down. Meaning that I got a lot of women who orbit in satellite. You know, they want to see what it's like. What it feel like, what it taste like, what it smell like, what it hit like, right? But don't make the mistake of believing that because they're around, they want to be down. Or just because they're around, they have what it takes to hold it down. They don't. And most of them won't, which is why they just orbit. They ain't never geared their ship to say, hey, look, we're going to land here and we're going to stand here. You understand? They don't do that. They'll hop in your inbox every once in a while and, you know, like a few posts. And, you know, if you was to catch them in the right day, I'm sure you can put some meat up in it. And, I mean, just keeping it funky. You know, that's women with the hijab or no hijab. That's women with a job or no job. Just keeping it funky. Just like we are men first, they're women too. Especially if she ain't had nobody over there knocking her down, giving some of that good baby boy. And she know you got multiple women and all of them look satisfied. All of them got the glow. All of them are perpetually pregnant. Somebody doing something right. So she ain't wrong just to wonder, like, what is it like? But again, don't make the mistake of believing that it's because she allows her mind to go there. Or because you know that you can put that meat up in it that this would actually work into something. Because truly, if she ain't positioned herself to be picked up, if she ain't made herself as a woman at the well, then let the record tell. That ain't gonna work well. You know how much of my relatives, bro, and again, we call them relatives, but whatever. Do you know how much of them, all they want to know is the wives. They don't want to know nothing about what I believe in. They couldn't tell you I got relatives that I grew up with who can't tell you one thing about what it is that I teach and live by. They couldn't tell you. They still think I'm a Muslim. No matter how many times I tell these fools, I'm not. No matter how many times I tell them, yo, we eat meat, right? It just need to be kosher. No matter how many times, they don't listen. My brother, I'm knocking down this recording. I'm gonna hit you right back when I finish. You Gucci?
Yeah, man. I was calling to check your temperature, man. Tell the conversation. Take your time, hit me back when you can, Reggie.
My guy.
Yeah.
After a while, they can start to play on your psyche like, man, they really don't like me like that. And the truth is, they don't like you like that. Joseph's brother didn't like him like that. If you, and we can agree that you're that chosen one because you're listening, there was a calling, why would it be any different? Scripture says that Yahshua was sent to his own and his own received him not. It wasn't the Gentiles, it was his own people. Both men and women. So coming into this lifestyle, don't think you're going to be liked because your style of life is different from theirs. Hence the Freeze lifestyle. And if they ain't happy, how they going to be happy for you? These women may talk and sneer at your wives and call them weak bees and all these derogatory names, but they not married themselves. Some of these women don't even know what it feels like to have a baby by a man who wanted the baby. Let's start there. They don't even know what that feels like, bro. Every time they had a child, they looking for a plan B, the pill. Or they worried and nervous and how they gonna tell him. They don't know what it feels like to be festive and have sisters there helping to plan the revealing. They don't know what that's like, bro. A lot of these people, both men and women, are psychologically damaged here in America. That's what it does. This project, this experiment. So understand, when you start to, wake up, truly wake up, not just by proclamation, but by declaration and action, application, no, they're not going to like you. As an alpha, you're not going to get as many women as you did when you was out in the street. These women want you to play with them in darkness, not in light. They get they fix of feeling like they're the only one, even though they're not. They don't care if it's delusional. They are illusional, so they can become delusional. And then you get your way of dealing in darkness and whatnot. You can do whatever you want to do with this woman when no one's looking except the Most High, but you guys don't care about that. You're not going to get as many women as you did. There's certain activities that won't fly from this woman anymore because there's certain activities that you did that no longer fly in your lifestyle. Therefore, does not fit into your style of life. And if she can't get rid of it, then she won't fit. So you'll realize that you're in a sea full of women, but just like the seawater, it's there, but you can still be dehydrated. Because it's not good for consumption. Feels good going down, gonna hurt twice as bad coming back up. Because if it ain't meant to stay there, it can't lay there. And that's why I don't go around just sitting, look random joints here and there and whatever the case may be. As a man, you realize that there's a lot of things you probably could do, but just because you can doesn't mean you should. Not only that, I'm not about to just give this masculine energy to any old wrestle. Especially when you consider with the spirits that she may wrestle. Nah. The other mistake I've made is believing that all women need to be protected. Now, if you've seen the lesson prior to this, you already know they don't need to be. Whatever is masculine does not need to be protected. That's one. And a lot of the women today are masculine. They'll say they're masculine because the men are feminine. And you know what? There's a nugget of truth to that. But they need to keep telling the truth because the truth is you're masculine because you like the way it feels. And la mama, so do I. I love being masculine. Just sucks for you because you were never meant to be that. Love who you are. You got one job and it ain't to be me. It's to be you. And if you can't do that, you are a failure, woman. You are a failure at life. If you have not made yourself the best woman, the best feminine woman you can be for a man, you are a failure at life. Because everything that you hold yourself glory to, I can do. Everything. You got a house, I got a house. You got a car, I got a car. You got a career, I got a career. And you bust one, I could bust one. And we can keep going. You in the gym, I'm in the gym. You fight, I fight. You shoot, I shoot. And some of these things you will not outdo me. You're going to get tired before I do. I'm built like that. You ain't. Your body's soft. You have to do really, really crazy things to get it to feel like mine. That's why I drop weight like nobody's business. As men, we can. With a woman, she's meant to have weight stayed on her to bear your kids. You ain't meant to be out here looking like you need to be on somebody's magazine, but you hate when we say that. You hate your creation. You hate your creator because that's what the enemy has given you over to. All women don't need to be protected, bro. If you see a woman getting beat, a random woman getting beat, or getting whatever by choked up by her man, I'm gonna tell you like this. Keep moving. One, you don't have both sides to weigh the matter. Nor would you get it when the situation is at fever pitch as it is. Two, provision and protection only is given to wives. If she's not your wife, she's not your problem. You are not responsible for her. A lot of women may hear it and be upset, bro, I'm telling you, because you will lose your life over something crazy. And while you dead, rotten, cold, body getting old full of mold, she's back with him. You done left your coveted position. You done left your children to be raised by whomever, wherever, doing whatever. Don't do it. In 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 11 through 12, it says, and to make it your ambition to lead a quiet life. Yeah, we trying to be out the way. You should mind your own business and work with your hands, just as we told you, so that your daily life may win the respect of outsiders, and so that you will not be dependent on anybody. Ain't nothing more masculine here than that verse. First thing, bro, in these last days, you should really be striving to be out the way. That's why I'm not on social media like that. I post here and there. But I'm too busy being a husband and a dad and a man of y'all in real life. Both good and bad. And the biggest thing is, mind your own business, bruh. When I go out to the store, somebody, man, that ain't none of my business, Kyle. Y'all got this gospel messed up here, man. That ain't none of your business. Stay out of it. And work with your own hands. Man, look, one of the biggest mistakes you can do is getting a job from your woman. Well, I'm going to talk to my uncle and he's going to give you a job right now, husband. Oh, man. Oh man, I'm gonna talk to my boss right now, husband. He's gonna give you a job. Oh man, y'all might as well do a threesome. Her boss, you, and your wife. And her boss is probably gonna get the biggest portion of that coochie. Work with your own hands, cuz. Why? So that you will not be dependent on anybody. Your wife can be dependent on you. You need to be dependent on the Most High. And this is what His word says. Say, mind your own business. You know, another mistake I made is taking them back. Now, in my life, I've only had to put out maybe, I think two women. But the other ones that left, they left. Because my door swing both ways. You can't keep no woman and you can't get rid of a woman. Now, let me explain. You can't keep a woman. She just decides to stay. That's why I be telling some of these bitter exes, yo, I'm not keeping her. She want to be here. And if you applying the ism right, they ain't gonna never want to leave. But likewise, when you get tired of a woman, when you sensed uncleanliness in her, but she's so addicted to that ism, she don't know how to leave. How do you get rid of her? You check out. I just stopped doing less or whatever made her attracted in the first place. I just tap out. I don't even see her in the house. My presence is void. She don't get no hugs, nothing like that. She sabers up to me, I may give her a head nod. When she leaves, she'll tell him he didn't love me like that. Look, I don't care what you tell him, I just know that you gone. That's all I care about. I don't care how you spin it. I don't read the tabloids anyway. I mean, if you listening to what they say about you, stop. Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. But never take them back. Because sometimes when they come back, they don't come back because they've seen and learned the error of their ways. A lot of times they come back because you're the best option that they have. And maybe they realize that. But again, do you want that? You mean to tell me that you had it and you didn't recognize it the first time for what it was? And then you went out there and you did it on your own, and maybe you tried to dip your toe in the dating pool with Gentile and Jew alike, and you realized that did nothing add up to the man you was just with, and so now you're back. See, a lot of us like to have our egos stroked and like, yeah, she came back. Yeah, but why? Truly sit down and have a dialogue with your Heavenly Father. Pull out all the pride, all the ego. You know, again, in our lives, some of this we do need, but this conversation, you won't need it at all. And just talk to Him, bro. And examine the facts. Yeah, she's back, but why? And you'll find out if you need to take her back or not. In most instances, however, you'll discover that you probably should not be taking her back. Then keep in mind, you don't know what she done went out and entertained in her absence. See, again, you're the constant. She's the variable. You know what you're going to do. You know what you're going to feed yourself in her. She don't know, and you don't know what she going to do either. So maybe she went out there and lived with a man who also lives with men. She gonna be bringing you back that energy. Maybe she went out and laid with some unclean spirits. She gonna be bringing you back that energy. Did you go and multiply in a good way anything that I've given you our first go around? Or did you reject it all to get out there and get neglected and now you want to come back to be respected? What she does in your absence, bro, tells you a lot about a woman. It tells you a lot. Did she keep herself chaste? Or did somebody hit that in your place? It tells you a lot. Now, don't make it seem like, you know, it's something they whimsically did. They didn't have their thoughts together. Cause listen, bro. Look, they know. So whatever she does in your absence tells you who she is. And as bad as you want to have that overlooked, you can't. Once we see it, you know we men, once we see it, we can't unsee it. Right? That little mama come out there with them booty shorts and them cheeks just hanging out, you can't unsee that. In church that have you make it believe that you could, but we know as men, true men of y'all, in spirit and in truth, the truth is you can't unsee it. When you see some error in her, bro, you see it. You can't unsee it. So in most cases, you may not need to take them back. When they come back to you, they'll never be as good as they were when you got them the first time, and you didn't even get them fresh. They've only put more air miles on that thing. They've only degraded further than when they were with you the first time. They've laid with other men. They've caught more bodies, possibly more debt, If they got children with the kids been involved in, because here's the thing, you can't just worry about the parents these days, you gotta worry about their kids. Kids turn out other kids more than parents do. These are all the factors that you have to consider when thinking if I should take her back. It's a lot. And not all the time, but 9 times out of 10, I'm going to see it'll be a no situation, bro. You know, unless the Father put it in your spirit and in your heart to go and grab that woman and to rescue her, man, don't bust her play, no. She ain't your problem and no responsibility. And if you gon' happen to be wherever she's at or fly her in and hit it, I'ma tell you like this, cuz we can sit here and act like we more righteous than thou. We ain't gonna do that. If you do, cause you've been there with her before, don't put nothing in her. Don't put nothing in her. But again, bro, where I'm at in life, man, it's like, as I'm growing, man, I really want to just protect that energy. That's what's valuable. When you realize going back to Pound Town with her ain't even what it used to be. It's not. Maybe you did, you know what I'm saying? Like when you realize like, yo, this ain't even, that ain't even it. Again, act on that because you've seen it, you can't unsee it. Brings you back to the question, is she even worthy of you? Is she worthy of a part? And if she's worthy of a part, make sure she gets the accurate part. Don't give her 50% when really she's only worthy of 15. The stress level of that 15% should not equate or be more than the 15% that you're giving her. If she has 15% of your life, but you're paying 80% of the stress from that 15%, it's an unfair deal. Get her out of there. Or better yet, never take her back to begin with. Man, look, these are some of the mistakes that I've made. When I'm shooting from the hip, if I made a list, I can be a little more exhaustive. And 2, if I did that, then this video would be a lot longer than what it is. But again, don't be like me, man. Don't waste the time, don't waste the money, and more importantly, don't waste the energy on these things, bro. Truly, we are in the last days, at the last page. We need to be enjoying life, what we have left of it. We need to be enjoying our families if we have that. We need to be enjoying one another, bro, because the real ish ain't kicked off yet, but it's long overdue and can happen any day. So as I always say, brothers, love y'all, man. Until the next episode, yeah. Say loud. Pull up with the stick, yeah. She said she wanna be up on my team, but she can't love me, yeah. Really, she don't want a man, she want a gummy bear.